Ellie DeWall here, and this is Tiny Room Fitness. Today we're going to do just a nice stretch routine. Nothing too crazy. It's the end of the day for me. It's the evening. I've got my tea. I am quarantined in this tiny room. And let's just go right away into this stretch. So I'm going to take my sip. And set that down. Probably sip it as we go through. Let's just start with one leg in and one leg reaching. If that's enough of a stretch for you, even just right there, hang out there. But keep your knee and your toes facing up towards the ceiling, and I just want you to walk your hands forward. And I want you to try to relax into it. You go as far as you can. Nice deep breaths here. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling out the mouth, and just allow that hip to relax into the mat. Allow that leg to relax. If you're up here, that's okay. If you're here, that's okay. Just breathe and allow it to relax. If you're holding your breath and you're pushing it and your face is making all these grimaces, it's probably too intense, so don't push it that hard. So this should be nice and easy. This should be the personification of tea going into you. It's calming, it's soothing. That's what the stretching should feel like. For the most part, it might hurt a little bit. All right, and then what I'm gonna have you do is walk your hands over, or if you're up, just move them over this way, over this leg here. So now we're reaching. If you can take this arm that's in front of your body and reach it towards your foot, you're gonna get a nice stretch in your lat and in your QL. And just pull yourself as much as you can, trying to keep both sits bones down onto the mat. And just breathe into that stretch. And once again, the knees facing up towards the ceiling, so don't let that leg collapse forward. Keep that knee facing up. And just pull yourself. Nice deep breaths, inhaling. And on the exhale, just pull yourself nice and deep into the stretch. And then you're going to grab onto the foot or onto the calf with that, for me it's my left leg and arm, so that's the one I'm going to grab. Make sure the same arm as leg, whichever place you're grabbing, just go ahead and grab it. And this arm's going to reach up and over, and you're going to try to open your chest up towards the ceiling. It's okay if you're up here, that's alright. Just go as far as your body allows and just open that up. Nice deep breaths here. And then I want you to lift and reach all the way up. And we're going to do that to the other side. So set yourself up. And you're here. Try to square off as much as you can. Knee up towards the ceiling. You can't see my foot because my tea is in the way. Put the toes are up, and you're going to walk yourself forward. Just as far as your body allows. I'm going to take a sip of tea. It's a little bit chilly today here in Virginia. It rained where I am, and so the weather is a little bit on the cooler end. So it's a perfect night for a cup of tea. And then you're going to walk yourself back and then walk your hands over to that leg and just stretch up and over. I really need to see my hairstylist, but alas, not in this time. Sometime soon. And then try to reach that top arm a little bit further. Get a stretch in your low back or your QL, and then in your lats. And just reach as much as you can. Keeping your knee up towards the ceiling. Keeping your toes up towards the ceiling. Keeping your shoulder away from your ears. Nice deep breaths, inhaling to the nose and exhaling out the mouth. And it's my right leg that's forward, and so my right hand is going to grab my foot. It could be your ankle or right above your knee, whatever feels most comfortable. And you're going to stretch the opposite arm up and over, and then try to twist your chest up towards the sky. And I just realized how tight my left side feels tonight. I'm just gonna breathe into it. Nice deep inhale. And exhale, try to deepen that stretch. And breathing. And bring that all the way up. You're gonna bring both feet together. And if you need to, you can grab pillows for underneath your knees if this doesn't feel very good. Or you can grab a pillow to sit on so that your pelvis is a little bit higher. That sometimes alleviates the stretch for you as well. And then just walk yourself forward for a stretch. If you want a little extra spice in your life, you can press your legs down and just lean forward. I'm just gonna come forward for tonight and leave my knees right where they are. And just take nice deep breaths here, inhaling and exhaling, and maybe taking a sip of tea. Living life on the edge with our cups of tea. And then lift that up. Good. From here, I'm going to slide my left leg across my body and bring my right knee over, or my right ankle rather, over that knee. I want to get both sits bones down as best I can. If this doesn't feel good for that left leg, you can stretch it straight out in front of you. For me, this feels really good, so I'm going to keep mine here. You want to lift straight up, and then you're going to twist towards that left leg. So if my left leg's across, I'm twisting towards the left. And you want your spine to be really straight and long. I'm feeling the stretch all across my hip and a little bit in my back. And I'm engaging my core. Always when in doubt, if you're never sure, just engage the core and you're probably right. And let's just take one last deep breath. Take an inhale through the nose. And exhale out the mouth. And then you're going to twist yourself back to face the camera. You're going to take this ankle and leave it on this knee. You're going to slide this foot forward so that the opposite knee comes down on top. If this is too intense for you, it's okay if your knee is up, or you can come into this stretch here. That's fine too. I'm kind of leaning back into my hands. I'm going to do this one for today. And if you want a little bit more spice in your life, this isn't quite enough, you can walk your hands forward and stretch. Up to you. I'm going to stay here. This feels good for me. If I were to lean forward, I think my hips might explode. That's what it feels like. And I want to be able to breathe easy into the stretch, so I'm going to stay right here. And nice deep inhales and exhales. And just allow that to relax. Take one last inhale. And one last exhale. And then you're going to pull both feet along the sides of your body and try to stack your knees up. And then we'll try to breathe here. Both sits bones are down on the mat as much as you can. Lift up as tall as you can. If this is not enough, you can fold forward and stretch. If it's too much, maybe grab onto that top leg and pull it out a little bit and just pull it over as much as your body feels able. If you're using pillows, those will help a lot in this, especially if you're sitting on them. And just take deep breaths here. I'm going to walk myself forward just a little bit, challenge it a little bit. Try to get into that right hip. That's the hip I'm stretching right now because that's the leg that's on top. And take one last deep breath. Inhale through the nose. And exhale out the mouth. And then we're going to release the legs out of that. All right, we're going to cross the left ankle over the right knee. Once again, you can stretch that leg straight out in front of you if that feels better. And we're going to lift tall. I think we did this one first. We might have done the other one first, but it doesn't matter too much. So we'll start with this. And we'll just twist into it. I definitely think we did the stacking of the ankles and knees first, but this is how we're going to do. No judgments here, not for me and not for you, and not from me and not from you. That's how we're going to do. Take one last deep inhale. And exhale. Good, we'll stack left ankle over knee, right knee over ankle. For me, this is as far as the side goes, so I'm going to hang out here. If you want, you can stretch further over. You can try to support yourself here. You can come up into this stretch, whatever feels best for you. That's what you're going to do today. And just take nice deep breaths. We'll inhale through the nose. And exhale out the mouth. We're going to do that one. Let's do 2 more breaths. Inhale through the nose. And exhale out the mouth. And one last time. Inhale through the nose. And exhale out the mouth. Good, and then we're going to pull our feet back. Stack the knees. And get right on top of those hips. Maybe take another sip of tea. And we'll do our deep breaths here. So we'll take a nice deep inhale. And exhale. Feel free to round yourself forward a little bit more. And 2 more breaths. Take an inhale. And exhale. And last time here, take an inhale. And exhale. Good. What you're going to do is you're going to keep your left leg across the front of your body here. Right leg's going to come in line with your mat. So it's parallel with the edge of your mat there. And you're going to take your hand on your hip, and this hand's going to come down towards the floor. I'll move my mug so you can see. So you're going to be here, and you're going to try to take your thumb into the back of the hip and your fingers forward, and you're going to use your fingers and your thumb to push your hip back to get that sits bone down, and then to pull that hip forward to twist. So we're kind of twisting the pelvis on the legs, like so. I call these my Martha Grahams. If you want, you can add a little contraction action. Martha Graham. Just going back and forth. If you don't know who Martha Graham is, look her up. She's a cool cat. And we go down. And we go up. And last time here, we go down. And we go up. And we're going to take those legs and you're going to whip them to the other side. Thumb back, fingertips forward. This arm is reaching, this leg is parallel with your mat, the edge of your mat there, and you're going to bring that hip back and down. Just listen to that knee, make sure it feels okay doing this, and then press that hip, rotating it, and rotating the hip back. So this is initiated from the hips, you're going to push that hip forward. Good, and since we did it on the other side, we'll do a little Martha Graham action. And ooh. And again, those are the sounds I make when I do Martha Graham. And come forward. And last time here, we go back. And we come forward. Good, and relax. Good, I'm gonna turn sideways for this next one. You're gonna bring your legs forward. If you're having a hard time getting your legs in front of you, if you feel like you're gripping a lot here, take some pillows, stick them underneath your bum, and then try to stretch from there. That should feel a lot better. And then you're gonna just roll yourself down and forward. If you can grab your feet, go ahead and grab them and lift them up, getting those heels off the mat. That's gonna feel really good in the back of your legs. If you can't, don't worry about it. Just try to extend through the legs as much as you can and reach as far as you can. I'm gonna go ahead and get this stretch in. And then if you are the type that can hold here, I want you to try to lengthen your spine while holding your toes. You're gonna feel a really nice stretch in the back of your calves and in your low back. If you're not there and you're here, still try to extend your chest up towards the ceiling. It's going to just change the stretch for you. Good, and then just release out of that and point through your ankles and round yourself forward as far as your body will allow. Nice deep breaths here. And roll yourself up. You're going to take your legs back behind you. You're on all fours. I call this the proposal position. I think about in The Office when Jim fake proposes to Pam. He gets down on one knee to tie his shoe. I think we were all mad at Jim that day. That's okay though, Jim. You came through. You're going to tuck your tail. So you're sitting your tail forward. I'm going to pull my leg forward just a little bit so I can really lean into it. If you're having issues with this knee on the mat, you can roll your mat underneath to give it a little more padding, or you can place a pillow under your knee. We're trying to stretch the front of this hip here. So really tuck and lean forward, and then I'm going to lift this arm up and lean up and over. I'm going to actually grab onto my wall because it's here. And just get a nice stretch. Nice deep breaths here. Let's do 2 more breaths. Inhale. And exhale. And last time, inhale. And exhale. And let's switch legs. The other leg. Once again, padding for the knee if you need it. We're in the proposal position. You're going to tuck your tail, lean it forward a little bit. Try to stretch the front of the hip. You're going to lift that same arm and leg that's back up and lean away from the leg that's down. And we'll do deep breaths here. Take an inhale. My floorboards are creaking as I do this. And exhale. 2 more sets. Inhale. And exhale. Last breath here. Inhale. And exhale. And come on out of that. For this one, just make do with what you got. I'm going to bring my knees close together. I'm not going to bring mine all the way together because it feels better to have a little bit of space in between. If you have a yoga block, you can put a yoga block between your knees. And I'm going to start to lean myself back. Now you have a couple options. If you're close to a wall, you can walk yourself back. Oops, I got stuck in my mat. And you can kind of catch yourself with the wall and go back that way. And you should feel stretch at the front of the legs there. If you're a little bit more advanced, you can come like so and just grab onto your heels. And I want you to really press your hips forward. I'm trying not to put too much pressure in my low back. So if you're feeling a lot of pressure there, come on up out of it and try the wall trick. I'm squeezing my glutes and really pressing my hips forward. I'm trying to get into my quads here. And if you're like, this is just not gonna happen, Ellie, you can come up and do a standing quad stretch. So whatever works for you is what I want you to do. I'm gonna be here. And then I'm going to open my chest up as much as I can. And just take deep breaths here. And if you're doing it standing, go ahead and switch legs. Last breath here, inhale. And on the exhale, carefully come on up out of that. If you're standing, hold that stretch a little bit longer. And then come on out of that. Come on down onto the floor if you're standing. We're going to come onto all fours. We're going to tuck our toes and we're going to sit back onto our heels. Allow the pinky toe to come down onto the mat. Just check and make sure it's not stuck. If this is too intense sitting back, you can lift your bottom off and lean forward into your hands more. But otherwise, if your feet can handle it, come back and sit on those heels. Our feet do a lot of, well, I don't know how they are these days, but when we're going, our feet are in shoes all day long, and so they don't really get to stretch and be malleable like they're built to be. So it's good to give our feet a little extra attention and care. And I want you to bring your hands forward. Press your weight into your hands, lift your knees up, and start to prance through your feet. Trying to create a long line from your wrist all the way up to your hips. I'm trying to rotate my sits bones up towards the ceiling as much as I can. I might even step myself back a little bit further to give myself a little bit more stretch in my calves. And I'm just lightly treading through my feet here. Oops, and I'm slipping on my mat. Lotion was a bad choice. But it was a great choice because I'm washing my hands so much. My hands need lotion. And then I'm going to have you walk your feet forward. And grab onto your elbows. I'm eating my necklace, so I'm trying to get it out of my mouth. And I want you to sway yourself side to side. No big deal. Nice and gentle. And then let your hands drop. And I want you to shake your head no. And nod your head yes. And shake your head no again. And nod your head yes. And then I'm going to have you bend your right knee. So if you can see me, I'm bending one knee, but the opposite leg is straight. So I'm getting a nice stretch in the opposite leg. Both heels are down on the mat. Both toes are down. Both sets of toes. And switch. So you're going to bend the left knee, sit into the right hip. Right leg is straight. Once again, both heels are down. Both sets of toes are down. Let your head be heavy. Let your arms be heavy, or just totally relax into the stretch. And then stretch that left leg straight and just hang for one more deep breath. Inhale through the nose. And exhale out the mouth. I want you to do a soft bend of the knees. Let your chest fall towards your quads. Take an inhale here and take 8 counts to roll up. We go 8 on the exhale. 7, 6, 5, engage the core. 3, 2, and 1. I'm going to turn and face you. I want you to take a nice deep inhale. Arms come up overhead. And exhale, let that all out. And you are all done. Thank you for stretching with me. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on Instagram at Tiny Room Fitness. And you can also like my Facebook page. If you're interested in supporting me and trying to offer these classes for free, you can visit my website at tiny-room-fitness.html. It's the longest website in the world, so I'm going to put it down in the comments below. Thank you so much, and I'll see you the next time.